Where are you from? Oh, very good. Okay, very good. Very good. You two, do you know each other? No. Okay, so who explained to whom? What's your name? Yeah, what's your name? George. And you explained to Andre. I met Andre earlier. So, where is Andre from? Ah, you explained. Okay, so where is he from? Okay. So you were Dutch. That's what you meant. Okay. Right, so let's get someone from the back there. You two, Kat and Ariana? Yes? Well, you two know where you're from, so it doesn't, no. Let's get those two, yes. No, the one behind you, the two guys, yes. Your names? Okay, so who explained to whom? Okay, so you did the explanation. Do you know where he's from? Wow, how did you guess? That's very good. Brilliant. Okay. Now, let's get a seat. Okay. There is a very quick exercise we're going to do now. Seated. Please, let's get a seat, guys. Please come and sit. Come forward. Come forward. Don't be shy. Come together. Don't be shy. Right, one of the things before we start our presentation is we help people to get their message across. And now, the very quick exercise we're going to do is, in 3 words, you are going to introduce yourself. So you can use 3 words: your name, the country where you're from, and the industry that you are working in. Okay, so I'll start, so it's easy. So Rafael, Brazil, PR. 2 words, but it's fine, yes. It's 3, but business accelerators is 2, yes. Okay, again 2 words, I'll excuse, yes. Fitness. Okay. Are you from the same company by any chance? Yes. Production. Good. Are you Dutch now? Okay. Film. Author. Banking. Brilliant. Okay. How easy or how difficult sometimes is to put in a 1 word? Oh, we have one more, sorry. Good. Okay. So it's just for you to understand sometimes that to put your message across, you really have to reduce, and choose the right words. Okay. Before I start my presentation, I want to invite our director here, to come and give a few words. So before I invite him, just to make sure that we have the right energy in the room, okay? So we need to make sure that we rehearse for the applause, okay? So imagine that Lady Gaga is come on stage. So if I invite Ernst to come on stage and I say, please give a round of applause to Ernest.
Well, that's impressive for a Wednesday evening. Well, thank you very much, Sir Raphael, for giving this great introduction. One to remember for sure, maybe for demo day. So one of the things that we will work towards in the next 3 months. So welcome very much for every one of you at Startup Bootcamp. What we do, we accept. Anybody? Credibility, yeah? And you're still sharing all that same dream, right? You want to create impact. And one of the things that to create more impact is being heard, being known, being out there. And obviously this is where High Profile Club can help you with. Because they're actually sort of a little bit awkward startup in our cohort. So it's not, I think Raphael's good in other things than technology, to be honest, right? As you saw, he's a good entertainer. So still the reason why I picked him, because he is also part of what we need as a community to become stronger as Startup Bootcamp, to become stronger as the startups. Not only with the startups that we have here, but also with the corporate startups. If you can see sort of the next brand that we have is InnoLeaps. So we work with corporate ventures. We help to accelerate the biggest companies in the world, the Unilevers, Friesland, Campina, Heineken, in order also to become successful, using the same methodology as Raphael and the other teams are going through. We also accelerate talent with the Talent Institute. So we help the people to be more digital. We talked about talent is definitely a resource that is always scarce. And it is because people are not trained in growth hacking or in UX design or the real high-tech technology or AI or IoT, the latest technologies that you need. So this is why we import people, Alex from the Ukraine, to help us as well about AI. Next to this event, and actually we're doing a second experiment for one of our startups from Turkey, Mustafa. So let's, so give a bigger hand to Raphael this time.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll do a brief presentation. We have a member here today, and we will explain what High Profile is all about. Profile Club, we are a tech PR platform, and we help put you in the spotlight, okay? So what is a spotlight? Is anything that will raise your profile. It could be an interview at Forbes, it could be you on the cover of a magazine, in a book, or you being a keynote speaker in an event or a conference. Okay, so there are many different ways to put you in the spotlight so we can raise your profile. Members have been featured in Forbes, the Daily Mail, the Sunday Times. So these are just some examples of how we can help you. What is this? An owl. Okay. What do owls represent? Is a question. What is this? Yeah? What do they represent? Wisdom. What else? Nightlife, yes. Yes. Anything else? Authority, yes. Yeah, okay. So we tell owls it can turn the head 360 degrees. Yes. That's another good point. Yes. So we compare entrepreneurs with owls, okay? Because entrepreneurs are high skilled, they are very intelligent, but they are very difficult to find. You don't see owls everywhere, right? So we then tell entrepreneurs who join the club and say, owls, you need to become a peacock. And this is the reaction that we get from the owl. Okay? So they go, how can I become a peacock? Okay? And why should I become a peacock? So that's the first reaction of our members. And we say, okay, let me explain what that means. When you become a peacock, what happens? What does this represent? Beauty. What else? Vanity. Visibility, yes. Large, exactly. So if you were in a park, do you need to look for a peacock? You don't, right? You just find a peacock. So that's our concept. We turn owls into peacocks. And we'll explain to you how that happens. So this is me 18 years ago when I was a kitchen porter in London. 3 plastic surgeries earlier, 10 kilos earlier. Yeah, no, it's true, I actually had. But we are not here to talk about plastic surgery. So when I arrived in London, I was a kitchen porter. And I will explain to you how I went from being a kitchen porter, working with this adorable Polish woman, to become 7 times award-winning entrepreneur, TED speaker, and then being featured in the Sunday Times at the top 100 most inspired entrepreneurs. So how do you go from an owl behind a sink in a kitchen to a very big peak? So this is what you do. So the first thing is, we had the launch of High Profile, just like this one, but we had in the Houses of Parliament in the meeting. So this was our party. We had 60 entrepreneurs. We have Sandra, who actually is from the Netherlands, and she's coming. Okay, so you know Sandra, yeah. So she was at the launch of the Parliament. Okay, we did there because we had the support of one of the ministers who has been supporting us, especially for migrant entrepreneurs. So this is us now, High Profile Club, in all types of social media. You can find us. You will see photos and the videos there. And one of the things that obviously we don't promise, we can't promise you that is going to happen. I've given a TED Talk, and I won an award for my TED Talk, so it was the most watched TED Talk within a short period of time in the south of England, over 100,000 times in 6 months. I get contacted by the TED group to send profiles of our members now have given TED Talks too. So Michelle just gave a TED Talk in January called The Invisible Victims of Crime. And Lara, yeah. So she also gave a TED Talk. I actually helped her to write her TED Talk and trained her on how to deliver the TED Talk. So these are spotlights, and this is what we can do to raise your profile. But then some people ask, what is the point of giving a TED? What do you think that happens once you give a TED Talk? Authority. What else? Goes viral, yes. I still get contacted by people almost on a daily basis on Facebook because of my TED Talk. What else? Credibility, yes. It's a big one, okay? Because obviously they normally are on the top of the pyramid to give TED Talks, and I got invited to talk about migrant. But also, there are things that happen that you have no idea. For example, last year, I got invited by the go to Brazil to be the chairman of a conference of Brazilian entrepreneurs. So that happened because someone, obviously, in the TED and then got in contact with me. Okay? So that's things that can happen. Now, we have examples of clients that went viral. Okay? So Karen Belmont. So what we're going to do is a very quick exercise so you can see the result of PR. Can you get your phones, please? You all get your phones, yes? And go on Internet Explorer or Safari. And what you're going to do is you are going to look for Karen Belmont so you can see the result of PR on your phone. Yeah? Her name is Karen with E. Okay, so Karen Belmont. Did you find her? Yeah? So the first thing that should show is her photo, obviously. And if you click in, so at the top you can see news, images, videos. If you click on news, you can see every publication that Karen has been mentioned. Just make sure that Karen is written with Keren. Yeah? And she is associated with Meghan Markle because we put her forward. She is a stylist, okay? So she's a personal stylist. So she was put forward to make comments on Meghan Markle's new style, okay? So you can see all these publications that she is now mentioned is related to Meghan Markle's style. Okay, so you can see some of them. So what happens then is, if you are mentioned in the media, what can you do to leverage that? So to show people that you haven't been mentioned, what do you do? How can you leverage, for example, what could Karen do to use this in her favor now to show people now that she's been mentioned in the media? Social media is one, yes. What else? Sorry? Brag about it, be a peacock, yes. But what do you do for that? Any idea how you use this to then show on your website? What could you do? One of the things you can do on your website is say featured in and on and put the logos there. Okay, so that's one. You can also create a page on your website to say press and then put there a link to all the... This is how you leverage. Why do you do that? Why do you show people that you haven't been mentioned in the media? Visibility and credibility, okay? The idea is when people see you in the media, you must be the expert talking about that, okay? We have several other clients, for example, China. She, when we learned about her profile, she was a refugee from Sierra Leone, and now she's a female DJ. So there were lots of ways that we could feature her, you know, being black in business, being a woman in business, being a refugee in business. Sometimes we take for granted the way that we are or our profile, that the media actually would love to have that kind of thing as a story, okay? Carol is another one. She's over 60. She gets featured a lot because she's over 60 and she develops websites. Is another way that you don't realize sometimes age is that you're over 50 or being over 60. She also got mentioned because she has 6 kids. So there are lots of things that, you know, you have in your life that you don't realize that is actually on your favor. Now, one thing that can change, so Grazia was on the cover of our magazine, CNBC. She works with properties. One investor read her story about her being fully booked with her properties in London with her, and now she's launching a state agency in Portugal. One feature at CNBC. So that's how one feature can change your life. These are just some examples of journalists that have come to our event. So in London, we had, I don't know if famous from BBC Radio. We had Linda, she's from Sky and BBC, a journalist. So we get in London, it's something that we plan to do here, is to bring journalists and teach you how do you get featured, how do you give an interview on radio, okay? So that's how we do. And in London, we have the migrant business in Amber Hotel. And we have the Migrant Entrepreneur Awards in the evening that will be at the... Bringing the Migrant Business Show to Amsterdam, so probably in October. That's what we're doing, is we are now planning. In London, every time we did, we had 1,000 people that came to the show. So this year, we want to bring 2,000 people to the show here in October. Right. So I will introduce you the team. So it's quite a few of us. So it's myself as the CEO. We have our CTO who is in Frankfurt. We have our CFO who is in London. But we have the two, as I always say, my girls who are here. So I'm going to invite Tanya and Katrina to come on stage. Remember, when they come on stage, what do? Come on, girls.
Oh, I like that. So hi Hi everyone, I'm Kat. So I am the Chief Communications Officer for High Profile. So all of those features that you see in the media, that's my job. So every day I pitch all of our members to the media, and at the minute we've had over 300 members featured in the media, and I think it's 15 features in Forbes magazine. So yeah, if you have any questions about how you can be featured in the media or about your business, come and have a chat.
Hello everybody, my name is Tanya and I'm the Business Development Executive for the High Profile. My job is to grow the club and expand even in different countries, and if you can see, we already have more than 80 members, I think 86 now, and growing. So if you have any questions of how you can join the club or what are the benefits, you can talk to me. Thank you.
Thank you, girls. So they nicknamed me here Charlie because I keep saying, "Oh, my girls, Charlie," and so Charlie's Angels. So, but now what we're going to do is we're going to invite one of our members to give a brief presentation. Okay, so we're going to invite Tineke. She is from the Netherlands. Was our first member here in the Netherlands, who will explain to you the difference of doing business with men and women. So give a round of applause to Tineke.
Hi, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Rafael. I'm really, really proud of you to start up something in a different country. I know that's not easy, so big compliments to you. I met Rafael in Albania a couple of years ago and got to know him a little better in London last year. And yes, I am a member, but it's new to me. But I must say, so far, I'm impressed. Yesterday, I had my intake conversation, and the first question I was being asked was, where do you want to be featured in? And anything was possible. So if I would want to be in Times, well, there's no guarantee, of course, but they will do their best. And I was really impressed. And already yesterday, I got an email with 20 journalists who were, like, asking for articles to send in. So I was impressed. Okay, so now back to my topic. My name is Tineke Rens. I am here from the Netherlands. I operate internationally also. I work mainly with business women. And up to I'm not so good at numbers. I started when I was 25 in business. And I built a business from scratch in the outdoor and survival industry. Kayaking, hiking, whitewater rafting, and all these kind of stuff. I started with nothing, and I built that up in 22 years, and then I sold it because I didn't want to do it anymore. There was no enthusiasm anymore. I just wanted to do something else. I had no idea what I was good at. What I said to myself, you know, I can only do travel and sports. And then I realized, hey, but I can do business. I started with nothing and I built something, so I know how to do that. And that's what I do now. I help business people to scale up, mostly women, but I love to work with men because you know why? 22 years I was the only female in my industry as a business owner. I always worked with men. They were my competitors, they were the ones I was learning from and comparing myself with. And then I had no idea when I started working with women that they operated so much different and that they operate so much different in business as well. And of course, there are a lot of different... Why are you so... Is this new to you? You're like... Okay, you will know when I show the differences. I started to study female business owners. I did research in the Netherlands. I questioned about 400 business women. And I was quite shocked with some of the results, like business things that are quite normal, and I assume you all learn them here because you're well guided, but a lot of people just start out of nothing, like I did. 62% of the women do not make a plan, so they have no clue where they will be at the end of the year. 60% of the women do not make a financial plan. And that's bad. And actually, I do presentations for men and women. When I ask the audience, how many of you do make a financial plan? Yes or no? This is a yes. You see, we're no better here. And this is men and women. It's one of the basics when you do business. Know where you have to go. Okay. Where do I click? The front one? The big one. It worked for you, so it should work here. Okay. Yeah, just some of the... this is not important. That's about my book. Let's continue with the rest. What are the biggest pitfalls for women when they do business? What do you guess? Yeah, okay. I just told you that. But that's not something they say about themselves. So I questioned all these women. Yeah? Confidence, lack of confidence. Thank you. What else? Yeah? Finding balance. Okay, thank you. What else? Assertiveness. Well, this is what the woman said. They underestimate themselves, lack of confidence. 24%. Can you see it? Is that not? Okay. Yeah. You count. Is that better? Okay, good. 24%. They underestimate themselves. Here. There's actually the same. The 17%. Not enough confidence. Too perfectionistic. That's something which is an issue with business women. Actually, I was talking to one of my clients today, and for 3 months on a row, she had another reason why not to sell everything which, in my opinion, is ready. But she needed another form, and another this, and another that. Who recognizes this? Thank you. You know, it is also a trait. When you do business with a woman, you know you get a perfect product or service, because a woman cannot stay behind it unless she believes it's 99% ready. Yeah? So that's something I always have to teach women. Launch first and then improve. There's always an addition. Next, next, next. Do you believe when the first iPhone was introduced, they already had more features in mind, but they didn't put it on? Yeah? Because there always needs to be something to improve. It's difficult for women to do this. They find it difficult to value themselves. What is the right price for my service, especially when it's a service? A product, that's easy to calculate. You know how much you buy, you know how much you pay for staff or for office or for every... But once it's about the woman, it's a difficult issue. Little focus. Men, if you work with women, doesn't this bother you? You know, you're in a conversation with them and all of a sudden they talk about something completely different. But it's very important to them because it has to solve and they have to know, otherwise they cannot continue. And when they are in a room, they notice everything what's going on. That's really good. But it's confusing for women because they have to act upon all of these things. And that makes it quite difficult to focus. And that's why, especially for women, it's so important to have a plan and have goals, because that creates focus. Procrastination, it's not typical women, I believe, so that's why it's so small. What are the biggest pitfalls for men? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. Women capture a lot at the same time. They see all the things at the same time, but it's difficult for them to decide what is the most important at that moment. But they see them all. So how can you, they have to learn. They sometimes need somebody else. If they know it that they do it, they can ask help. Please help me, what's the most important now? If they acknowledge, but sometimes they don't even see this, because we're so accustomed to this. This is how we've always been. But they can learn by asking the question, what is the most important for me or for you or for them now, right now? Yeah, that helps. But what about men? What do women think are the biggest pitfalls for men? Guys, be aware. Macho, overconfidence. Yeah? Achievers. Arrogance. Yeah, what else? See, it's easy for the women to say, yeah? Guys, a little bit of self-reflection. What would women say about what you lack in business? Yeah. Okay, Raphael, you're on your toes. What did you want to say? Yeah, what women say.
Well, sometimes they feel threatened if there's two men in a room.
Okay, competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't feel at ease.
So if there is a competition, men love it. It's a game they love to play. But when you are a woman and you are going to compete with a man, you aren't going to win. You have to use a different strategy, and that's confusing them because they only know how to compete. They don't know. I'm exaggerating, of course, guys. Don't blame me later on and don't kick me out of the room. I just want to make some things clear. But when we use a soft voice, when we try to have a different approach, not trying to convince them, because that's competing, that doesn't work. And they always like this game. Do you know, is this true, guys? Huh? They don't know? Yeah, they know. No, it's the same as we... No, but it's the same as we are not aware of that we are all over and notice everything and need to act upon everything because that's so normal to us. Well, here we go. Oh, it's a different question. The best qualities. Okay, we know what we love about men in business. And there's something interesting. Self-confidence. They dare to take risks. Ambitious. They can delegate a lot better. Women are control freaks. We always need to control and be in control because otherwise we get insecure. We don't know that that's the reason, but that's why we have to have control. Working systematically through goals and targets. Have influential networks. That's changing rapidly at the moment. Financial insights. Finance is always a point which is more difficult for women. Men usually, and that goes back years, you know. It's only since 100 years here in the Netherlands that we can vote and that we really mean somebody or are someone. And when we could start a job and when we could start a business. When I started my business 29 years ago, there were hardly any women in business. So a lot is changing. But from programming on subconsciously, that's something we need to learn. And doing finance is easy if you know how to and not being scared of it. But that's for the women. The interesting thing, though, is the things women lack. What they say, exactly. That's what men do well. So we can learn from each other. Women also know what they do very well. And that's the thing usually men lack. So there's an interesting thing. I can't go into all the details of my research. Well, if you like it, you can give me your card and I can send it to you. You can download it. Some things about men. Where are they very good at in business? Competitive, action, or they want to start immediately. Money-oriented. For women, usually money is not important in business. It's a higher goal which is most important. They know money is important, but it's not where they want to get out of bed for every day. Taking risks. You have to take risks being in business. That's why businesses of women grow so slow. And remain so small. But they hardly ever go bankrupt. So what's good? If you look at scaling, men usually are better. But here there's a lot of guidance, so the women get forced to do it. Okay, what's good about women? I only have 10 minutes and I think I'm way past already. so let's just skip the interaction. Creativity, collaboration. Women always want to do work with somebody else. Yeah, we recognize it? I always thought, well, are you too scared to do it on your own? Don't you have enough guts to do it on your own? No, that's just what they love to do. They like to do things together. They prepare really well. If they go into a room with a meeting, they have read, they read all the articles, they know where it's all on about, yeah. And they get so annoyed when other people didn't prepare. True. They have faith. They have an inner faith, an inner knowing. If they can skip their lack of self-confidence, if they can get past that, they have a knowing. It's their inner guidance. We all have it, but women are more connected to it. So they know that things somehow work out, and that freaks men out. They want to have a plan. They want to know now, this, that, what's next week. And she says, you know, I know it will work out. I know. Trust me. Yeah, it's funny, eh? They can be soft. Men are chuck, 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 chuck. As you notice, I have a lot of masculine. But that's no wonder. I was supposed to be a boy when I was born. And I played with guys. I did guy sports. I was the national champion whitewater kayaking. Well, hardly any women did that in my country. So I had to learn to become a woman and adapt being a woman. They need to have inspiration. They can work from flow and energy, and that's the same with having faith. You know, if you only know step 1, there's step 2. Okay, we'll do step 2. Oh, step 3. But you didn't know what step 3 would be when you were here. Women can do that easier if they can get rid of their freaking control mentality. They can consense. It's not about them. It's not about their plan, about their ego. Yeah? Intuition. And they are very precise and accurate. And this is something remarkable. Women are more willing to invest in themselves. They're more willing to acknowledge, I need help. Well, if you want to know more about me, oh, that's interesting, different colors. Those are my 3 businesses. I still have a business in the Netherlands, tinegrense.nl. Powerful Business Academy is my international training bureau, and I have a business network for business women. And I would love for you to come over and give me your details so I can send you a link to vote for me, because my business network started last year. It's now operating in 3 countries. So that's why I know how difficult it is to start in various countries. And I'm nominated for, the network is nominated for a networking award. So I'm first at the moment, and I want to remain first. So I could use some votes. Was this helpful? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good. So the difference there, I think we forgot to add a category. So you have men and women. What about the gays? I felt left out there because I sit in the middle. So sometimes I think like a woman, very creative. So but we have the process. It's okay. Right. Okay. So before we continue, we have one member. So here, just example of spotlights that we got for our members. Remember that I said we put you in the spotlight. Okay. So David Rothwell launched his business in the US because he met people in the group that had connections in the US. Michelle Raymond gave a TED Talk. Tommy Edwards spoke at the G20 Summit. Introduction from us. Jantana won the Insurance of the Year. We wrote the application for her awards, and then she won the awards, okay? She beat AXA and Aviva, okay? So she won the Insurance of the Year, so she beat those two. It was 5 of them. Carol Mann, she now launched a network called Women on the Web, and we managed to get a minister to be in the launch party and write a report. And Lara Khalaf was a member who gave a TED Talk, okay? So just ideas of how we can put you in the spotlight. We have one more member that just arrived, and I'd like her to do her pitch, okay? So she is a specialist in hair. So Janine, do you want to come and join me, please? Remember how you greet them on stage?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Janine, and I live in Antwerp, in Belgium. I'm from the Netherlands, actually, and I moved to Belgium like 4 years ago. And my business is hair, black hair. I see a lot of white people here, so you would think, what do I have to do with black hair? Okay, imagine that you are a white woman, and you have a mixed race child, or you have an adopted child. There are a lot of women that have mixed race children or adopted children that don't know how to treat their children's hair. My mission actually is to teach everybody in the beauty industry how to work with natural black hair. I have an example in Belgium where there is a Belgian lady who has 1 mixed race daughter and 2 white daughters. Her mixed race daughter has to go specifically to a black hair salon. So when they have their Mommy Daughters Day, her older daughter cannot join. With her 2 other daughters, she goes to the hairdresser where she normally goes to. What message does that give to that child, to her older child? I am here, my mission is to teach all the white hair salons how to treat black hair so that that little girl can have a Mommy Daughters Day with her mom, not separated from her family. Thank you.
So we do have an amazing, diverse group of entrepreneurs, as you can see. Okay, so from empowering women in business to empowering people with black hair. It's good to know. Okay. Just some spotlights that we have, so then we can have some networking, we have some drinks and some pizza, okay? So media opportunity, so we started, just to have an idea how we have grown, we started, when we first started about a year ago, we used to have about 50 features a month. So that's when we started. So the number of journalists that we knew, was very low. So now we are getting about 2,000 a week. Okay, so as journalists send us requests, now we also have events organizers that are sending us requests for spotlights. We have a speaking opportunity, so we can put you on stage when we have an event. As you just saw, some of our members will be on stage. We also have an online mastermind. So I know, Tineke, we talked about mastermind and how powerful they are. We do online mastermind with our members as well. Okay, we are starting with webinars to help our members to grow their businesses. We do lots of network events. So in London, we do 3, and we plan to start doing once a month. We're going to do events here. So we will test to see if people prefer morning or evening events. Okay. It goes in the Netherlands. As a gold and silver member, you can also use our event. This is in London at the moment, so we will see how we're going to plan this in the Netherlands. But in London, you can use our venue, our office, to run your event as a gold or a silver member. Sorry? It's up to, as a super squeeze 50, comfortable 40 people. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so there are some extra benefits that we have as well. So we have lots of parties. We get invited. Deliveroo last year invited our members. We went to their roof terrace party. We had lots of Myla lingerie was launching in London. We have champagne canapes. So we get invited to parties. We then invite them along. Okay, so it's a membership. So we have 4 options now. Okay, if you want to take part in the events, if you want to network, if you want to meet people, it's either £50, £100, or £300 a month. And that gives you spotlights, okay? So that could be you on stage once, you giving an, or you could be featured in a book, okay? So that each one is a spotlight. If you don't want to be doing public speaking, or if you just want the spotlights, we have one option that is £300, and you get 4 spotlights, but then you don't have access. So join the club today. This is us. Just before we finish, I have someone very special that I want to invite here to say thank you. She was at the launch of High Profile Club in London, and she also helped us when we came here for the... I want to invite her to give a pitch, a very quick pitch, to say thank you. So Sandra, I want you to be here on stage, because you were in London a year ago, and now you're in Amsterdam. So put your hands together. She's been a super supporter of High Profile. So Sandra Dera.
This is very surprising, but that's Raphael. Raphael became a very close friend to myself and my family. I've been to the launch, was it a year ago? Yeah. It was, right? Yeah. In London, and it was very nice in a hotel, if I remember. Yeah, House of Parliament, that's the one, yes. So it was very nice, and I became friends with a lot of, so the networking was good. I became friends with a lot of members of the High Profile Club in London, and what I've seen throughout the year is that there has been so many features and so many positive energy, a very good vibe, and the the connection that you have with people is that you can easily approach them and ask for help or ask for their opinion. And yeah, I think it's a very good initiative, and it's very successful, and it's becoming successfuler. So I think Raphael is going to conquer the world with his energy that he has. So it's very nice to work with him. From my opinion, he's very inspirational, and he's got great ideas to help you launch your business.
Okay, so just before we finish now, now you have a magazine, okay? So one thing that I will ask you is, if you open the magazine, you will see there is a little gift inside, which is the peacock feather. Yeah, so remember the beginning of the presentation, okay? So the question is, now, what are the colors of your feathers? Okay? So the idea is, what do you want to be known for? If you were featured today, so if we had today a journalist from Forbes who wants to interview you because he's writing an article, what is the story that you want to share? If I'm reading the article about you, what do you want to be known for? So it's something for you to think about. Every time you're going to remember me, okay? So that's it's very funny. Now all the members, everyone who watched my presentation, they normally send me a photo of a peacock, or of, it became a trademark, which is great. And the idea is, every time you see a peacock now, or you see a peacock feather, that question, because that will help you to define your message, to define, when you talk to people, what do you want to be known for? So remember, what are the colors of your feathers? So that's us, and that's High Profile Club. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. Thank you. So now we have pizza and